Hello, this is Malaika. Welcome to another episode of Travelasana. I'm here in Barranco, which is in Lima in Peru. I am so honored to be here and to be sharing this practice with you. Your requests were for something for the heart, something restorative, something really gentle and healing. So that's what you're gonna get. You can do this on the floor, on a yoga mat, on a really soft carpet like the one in this Airbnb, or you can also do this on the bed, especially if you want to be really gentle and you don't want to get low on the ground. And it will be helpful to have some props. So grab some blankets, a shawl can be nice, or a blanket to cover with. Some cushions will also be useful, as many as you can so that you have some options. And yeah, we'll just dive in. And remember, if you want more content, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications so you get a message when I post a new video. Also, comment, let me know what you want to see, because I love requests and I love to hear how the practice feels for you. So let's dive in. First thing we're going to do is we're taking our cushions and we want to make a little bit of a supported back bend. So you can, in this case with these cushions, I can fold them in half. You can also do this with a blanket roll or a or towel. And you want this to be near the upper middle back. So if you're someone who wears bras, then around the area where your bra strap would be, underneath your arms. And then you can let your head rest on a very low cushion. So this is very low, so it still takes my head below my chest. But if this were really high, I would want to take my head to the ground instead. So just something, a cushion just there to soften the earth. Notice how your back feels. For some of us, it's going to be best to have the knees bent, feet wide, knees resting together. The arms can be down by your sides. If you want a little bit more of a heart opener, you can bend your elbows, palms face up on either side. This could be a good place to cover with your blanket. And sometimes with a blanket, if it's, this one's not very heavy, but if it's heavy, it can feel good to just have it on your belly as a grounding element to just connect you down to the earth. And simply notice your breath. How is it moving? In this posture, do you feel it a little bit more in the chest, in the sides of the ribs? Notice the area where you have your support underneath the back. Can you send your breath to that area? And remember, you can stay here for as long as you'd like. And whenever you're ready, gently begin to roll to one side and press yourself up to sitting. With that posture, you can also have your legs extended, but knees bent is particularly if your lower back feels any discomfort. So now we're going to lay the cushions in a kind of line. Higher than this would be good. You're staggering your feet. So I'm facing the left. So my left knee is in front of me at as much of a 90-degree angle as possible. My right knee is behind me, also as much of a 90-degree. So the knee and the foot are in line. This could be a good place, again, to cover with a blanket. And even if you're in a warmer place, using a blanket can be a really lovely way to just make this a really soothing practice. And now you're keeping your body facing the side, laying your side down on the cushions. Letting your cheek rest. Feeling yourself just melting down into the support. If you want to take this twist further, this makes it less restorative and a little more intense, but you can, for some of us, we might be able to turn the cheek to the other direction. But again, that kind of heats things up a little bit. So you want to do this on both sides. So you're turning, well, in my case, I'm going to take the cushions to the other side, but you can also just turn to the other side. But just to illustrate, here you have the right knee bent in front, the left knee behind, as 90 degrees as is available, and then maybe your blanket. You're taking your side down, and here you're not trying to bend the side waist, so you might need to just scoot away a little bit so that it stays really long along your lower waist, and you can lay down and lengthen out. And when we start to lengthen our exhalations, we're activating the part of our nervous system that encourages peacefulness and rest versus fight or flight. So slowly starting to extend your exhalations simply by noticing if there's any stale air that's ready to come out. So maybe just extending a little bit longer each time. Here too, you can turn if you want to take it further. If that's available, you have that option to turn your head. And remember, you can stay here as long as you'd like. And then slowly make your way up. So the last position is a child's pose. And child's pose, it might be useful to have some support underneath your knees. So, if you have a blanket and you want to fold it kind of flat and lay it down, to have some support for the knees. Bring the big toes to touch. You can have your knees nice and wide, and then we'll have the cushions underneath us. Here too, you can also roll up a blanket or a towel and put it underneath between the backs of the knees here and the thighs. And then from here, we're folding forward over some support, but you can also do this without having any support under you as well. So if you have a cushion under you, you're going to have the side of your cheek on the mat. Without the cushion, you'll have your forehead down. And since we're grounding, spread your fingers and really gently and intentionally press your hands into the earth. And as you breathe here, feel all the parts of you that are coming into contact with the earth. So maybe the forehead, the legs. And as you begin to breathe here, start to notice the back of your heart. So we often think about the heart as the center of the chest, but what about the center of the upper back? Can you start to bring some awareness there and let your breath nourish the back of your heart? Perhaps, those parts that are less obvious, those more quiet parts. One way to feel that area a little more is to bring the palms together, bend the elbows, and take the hands behind your head. This brings awareness to the upper middle back, a place that a lot of us feel tension from rounding the shoulders forward when we sit. And then whenever it feels right for you, begin to bring yourself back up and make your way to a comfortable seated position. So you can kneel, you can sit elevated on your cushions. So we're going to do a meditation here for the heart, and I'm going to give you two mudras, two hand gesture options. So the first one is to take the right hand over the heart center, leaving a little space underneath the palm, and then take the left hand on top of that. This is called Hridaya Mudra, and I'll put the names in the description below. Hridaya means heart. So this one is just perfect for tender hearts. It can feel nice here too to rub your hands on your chest to warm up the heart center. And just feel how this feels in your body. Maybe drop the chin slightly, let your breath flow naturally. And simply notice, where is the breath directed and how does this feel for you? The other option is called Purna Hridaya Mudra, and this one you interlace your fingers loosely and then you let your thumbs press together, making a little heart. And this also rests near the heart center. Purna Hridaya. So Hridaya means heart, and Purna is translated often to full. So this is full heart mudra. And with both of these, you want to leave a little space between, well, with this one, your elbows naturally come out, but with this one, you still want to leave some space so that you can breathe easy. So whichever one you choose, let your shoulders soften down your back. Let your chin drop slightly. And give yourself a few moments to breathe. Notice your breath being directed to your heart center, nourishing your heart. Whether it feels like it's already overflowing or whether it feels like it needs some extra love and attention. And as you sit with your heart, perhaps ask it, what does it have to say? We're often so busy in the mind, kind of intellectualizing our emotions. But if we sit still and directly ask, what do you have to tell me? What comes up? You might hear sadness. You might hear joy. You might feel a sense of empathy for others, for all the suffering that's happening. You know, in our Caribbean region, there's so many storms right now affecting us, and even for islands like Grenada, where we haven't had any storms in the recent years, we still feel that fear and also a sense of compassion for all those who are suffering. Your heart might be telling you that it's in love. Your heart might be telling you that it loves you. Your heart might be shy and not saying a word. But your job here is simply to listen. To breathe and to listen. And to let each breath nourish not only the front of your heart, but also the back of your heart. Thank you so much for joining me once again. Namaste.